Hi, so I thought I'd vlog through some Shorty reads this weekend. So I've read one book so far of my Shorty September picks. It was The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I actually listened to this on audiobook. I was debating about whether to, just read it because I prefer to read books and hear it in my own voice, but when I saw that the audiobook my library had was in her voice, I knew that it would be impeccable, and I wasn't wrong. The Bluest Eye is the fourth Toni Morrison book I've read, I think, and I guess this is her first book. So I read this for the Denim Shorts and Shorty Shorts prompt. So that was a modern classic and a book from the 70s or 80s. The book is about a girl named Piccola who is a young black girl that wants blue eyes, and I was listening to Toni Morrison talk about this, and she said that she wrote the book to understand the deep self-hatred that someone could have to want a different eye color to their own. And this book is really sad. She goes to places where a lot of other people wouldn't want to go and tries to unravel the honest truth of what led to such tragic circumstances, and has a lot to say about what anti-blackness, and especially for a dark-skinned girl, how that can degrade self-worth. And besides hatred, the violence that Piccola faces from her family and her community. And I'm glad that I checked out this book, even though it wasn't my favorite by Toni Morrison. I could see how she's grown since that first book, even though it was perfection as usual. So the next book I wanted to pick up was for a few prompts. I think this was for Playsuit Shorts, A Book You Might Regret, The Emperor's New Shorts, A Unreliable Narrator, and Half and Half Shorts, which is a book that has a movie adaptation. So, funnily enough, my boyfriend Kyle actually read this a few days ago, and we've been trying to get some DVDs to bolster our collection of our favorite movies, and of course I had to get Annihilation because it's one of my favorite sci-fis. So because it was a book that I might regret and I didn't like the last Jeff Vandermeer book that I read, it kind of helped to have my boyfriend read this first and enjoy it and be pushing me to read it because he wanted to watch the movie again. So yeah, I've actually been enjoying this so far. I'm in the first parts of it, but I will check in after I've finished it and watch the movie to tell you my thoughts on both of them. So I'm kind of crouching at an awkward angle so you can see some of the delightful things that I just picked up because Kyle and I took Rocco for a hike and then went to a farm that just happened to be nearby and got some fall things, and we kind of got carried away, but that's okay. So first we got, some nice bread and some mushrooms and cheese and onions and things for the pasta we're going to be making tonight, and tomatoes. So that's not as fun, but also got a little peach pie because I've never had peach pie before and I've always wanted to try it. Then of course some little apple cider donuts and cider. And I cannot resist caramel apples. So there's that, and then some little gourds for decoration. And some beautiful flowers as well. I also picked up some Halloween decorations the other day, and I've been slowly putting them up. If anyone has any ideas, I picked up this cute little jar which says Bat Claws on it. And it's like clear except for the label, so I'm trying to think of what I could put in it that looks Bat Claw-esque. So if you have any ideas, let me know. So yeah, Annihilation. I honestly like both forms. I think that there are some things about the book that were interesting. I liked the way that in the book the main character had a love for the natural world, and this was the most important thing in her life to the detriment of her relationship. But I also liked the way that the movie explored what would make people want to go into an area that other people weren't returning from, and they didn't know how the area would affect them. So I think the movie fleshes out a lot of the characters' stories and motivations. I especially enjoyed the beauty of these damaged people changing, trying to be kind of vague, because the area is affecting the animals, the plants, and the humans. It was interesting to be reading the book after I had already seen the movies and had some of the visuals in my head, because there are differences in things that weren't included that I was still able to see really visually, even though those things weren't in the movie. I was talking with my boyfriend about it, and we were saying that we thought also that the director of the movie was able to do an interesting job of visually representing some things in the book that were kind of more abstract, I guess I should say. I think that I still prefer the movie, but I really liked the book and I want to read the others in the series. So let me know if you've read the others in the series and if it continues to be fab or was less interesting. Overall, I love the way that both of these can straddle sci-fi and horror at the same time. And I guess some of the tropes that I really like are, nature overtaking humans and greater insidious evil power that we don't really understand. Although that's not exactly how I'd characterize this, but both of those elements were present in Annihilation. So if you enjoyed that, you would probably enjoy this, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. I saw Siân's vlog recently and there were some graphic novels, so that inspired me to pick up some graphic novels as well. The first one I have is Infidel, so I'll probably, start that tonight and check in tomorrow about that. Hi, so I just finished The Intersectional Environmentalist by Readathon. I liked the book. I think that the book is a good introductory text for those that haven't engaged in discourse around intersectionality, feminism, other movements. This is a good introduction because it really spends a lot of time breaking intersectionality down, and it pays a lot of tribute to the people that invented these terms and were at the forefront of these movements. So I thought that was really beautiful, the way the book was grounded in paying respect to the people that came before. And this book was also very communal in the fact that there are quotes by different activists and people in the environmental movement. So it was nice to have so many perspectives represented throughout the book, but also the effect that that had was dropping a lot of really interesting things in quotes and then not having a lot of space to expand upon those things. 135 pages of this book are the actual book, and then there are a lot of resources and articles, books, websites in the back of the book, which were really helpful. And now, after reading this, I have a lot of places that I want to go from here. And I think that for only having, 135 pages, it did a really good job of touching on a lot of things. There's everything from disability and environmentalism to how the movement is related to the Stop Asian Hate movement to, worldwide perspectives. And so I really thought that it was fully intersectional and well realized, but at the same time, I only picked up a few tidbits from the actual text because I have read other works that have communicated some of the topics that make up the most of this book. But I still enjoyed reading it, and I'm going to continue to tune in to the people that were featured in this book. So I'm going to pick up some more books from the library that I don't think I'll get to in this vlog, but I'll share them with you. And then I'm going to start on Blue, which will probably be the last book that I get to talk about here.
Yeah.